And on party elections,
Okay.
are you interested in contesting for any post in the December party elections?
That will be my last priority, the least priority. I come into UMNO today because I want to further enforce and facilitate reforms undertaken by the Prime Minister, which is to me significant, which is to me very, very difficult. And the having positions or not having position is not important to me. I come from an NGO. I've been very comfortable in NGO life. You know, there are not much petty politicking there, backstabbing. In fact, but basically, I'm here quite reluctantly, to be back in politics. But because of the reforms introduced, which I think is my duty, I come in. I'm, in fact, to be frank, I'm hoping it won't be long in politics before I can go back to NGO life. So I'm not ambitious at all. I'm not going for positions, and my priority is to help the leaderships in the facilitate the reforms, and having position is not a condition to do that. Yeah.
But having said that, are you contesting for any post?
I don't even know whether I'm been allowed to contest. Even if there are nominations, even if I'm allowed and I have nominations, I would really weigh all the consequences. And the bottom line is whether that post or my exception to that post really helps me to help the country. So the bottom line is the interest of the country, the party and the country at large. So that is the bottom line.
In the past, you've said that the UMNO youth has failed in what they're supposed to be doing, as a party, as a wing. What do you think of the state of UMNO youth right now?
I think not only what I think, but I think it's more important is what the young people think in this country. I think they have a lot of high hopes in the youth, UMNO youth, because they are the backbones of the country, the party. And I think they have to really carry the aspirations of the young, and from the votes that turned out in the last general elections, I think they have to do a lot of homework, they'll have to do a lot of work and a lot of reforms in order to recapture the imagination of the young.
Some say that you would make a good youth UMNO youth chief. What's your response?
I wouldn't know. I was just before the youth chief of an opposition party. That is also by coincidence. I was not the first choice. It is also not my first choice. I'm just in and I just do my work. And what is important to me is to just do whatever work have been entrusted to you to the maximum possible, and then let the people judge.
Just to clear up the thing, so would you be contesting for the youth chief, UMNO youth chief post in the December elections as was reported? Yes, no? Maybe?
At the moment, no. At the moment, no.
Jawab macam Gairi.
Oh, ya ke? Oh, dia jawab macam tu ya, tak tahu. At the moment, no, because my priority is to strengthen the initiatives of reforms, and I don't want to be distracted by the issues of jostling for power and positions. So if you ask me, my personal preferences, is no.
Some have said that you've been brought into UMNO to neutralize Anwar. while others have said that you've been brought in to neutralize the Mukris factor. What do you think?
I'm here for the national agenda, not for any individual agenda, whether it is from Umno or it's from Keadilan, because they are also saying that I'm being the spy of Anwar. You know, I'm not for any individual agenda. I'm here for the national agenda. I'm back to Umno, which is to me it's not an easy decision because of reforms, which is to my mind is the most important thing that any human being should do, you know, in their best capacity. So it is never any individual or personal agenda for or against anyone.
Okay, what do you think of a young leader who's up and coming, Khairi Jamaluddin? Do you have, are you good friends with him?
Actually, I met Khairi just because of Anwar. I met Khairi because I have to find him. Basically, he's not my friend because I know he's close to the Prime Minister, and we are trying to get Anwar out for medical treatment overseas. And I know him, and it is confirmed, you know, from my meetings that he is a genuine believer of human rights. You know, in a way, I think being trained in England, in Oxford, I think it basically broadened his perceptions on human rights. And basically, I met him and asked him, you know, to help us to get Anwar out from at least for medical treatment, and that was that. You know, it's only on that basis that we have relationship, and that's why I'm quite disappointed actually when people start talking about it's a political ploy between me and Khairi. It is not for me, it is for Anwar. And I'm more disappointed when Anwar and Wan Azizah, who knows this very well from the very beginning, didn't come out and really defended me, you know, after me being attacked, you know, as working with Khairi for my own personal political reason. They know it very well that it is for Anwar's medical treatment and nothing else.
But after that, I mean, after Anwar's come out, have you had much interaction with
Not
him?
really, for the fact that because you know, because of the incident of the passport incident in Anwar's house, that's really break us. I think he is being very careful after that. And of course he don't want to be misconstrued and misunderstood, and I think it is best for us to just break off, so we don't have basically any relationship after that.
Some would call you an opportunist. How do you respond to that sort of statement, because they say that you used Gerak as a stepping stone to come back into UMNO?
Yeah, I think I just appeal to them to be fair to me a bit, you know, because I think I have a long records of struggle. You know, for the past 10 years, I've been in 2 jails, not 1. And I think, of course, there are many instances of them trying, you know, to buy me, to, you know, whatever, you know. But I think 10 years is a long period, you know, and I think, and it's all because of principle. You know, if because of opportunity, you can say now, or many people would say that Anwar has much more opportunity to be in power in the near future than UMNO, who is to them is weakening. You know, so how can an opportunist going to a weakened party? So it's not about opportunity; it is about principle. And I'm basically not pro winner. I'm pro truth. Because of I'm pro truth, you know, I'm more or less most of the time being close to someone who are in trouble. And I was with Anwar when he's in trouble, not when he is basically close to power. So how can an opportunist behaving like that? So I think it is totally unfounded and unfair to me.
Some members of civil society have also expressed their concern. They say that, you were in a political party and then you left to form a non-political NGO, and which was non-partisan, and then you move back into politics. How ethical is that? And you expect Gerak to move on to... How can people trust civil society after this?
I think they have to make the difference between me as the organizer of a civil society, of an NGO, and the NGO and the organization itself. Gerak is not my institution, it's not my belonging. Gerak is an institution, and I think they have to give Gerak a chance and time to this new leadership, who are basically purely neutral, who basically hasn't joined any party before this. And in fact, when I set up Gerak, I would rather ask somebody else who are purely neutral to lead Gerak. But after a while, looking around, it is very difficult to get someone who are really neutral, wants to come forward, because setting up an NGO against corruptions, against the powers that be, it's not easy, it's very risky. So that's why I made up my mind to myself to lead Gerak. Actually, it's not the first choice. It's not my preference actually to because I believe it has to be purely neutral. But I think after a while, after 2 years heading Gerak, and I think it is only fair also for me to give Gerak to where it belongs, to be really headed by a really neutral individuals and activists. And I think Gerak will be much better after this, more committed, neutral, non-partisan, and I believe, and also that is my wish and hopes, it will become an institutions, not my institutions, but the country institutions.